It's your boy Crunchy Frog here, and we're going over the Evolutions Mayhem event. What you're looking at right here is a deck that I copied off an opponent who kicked my butt the other morning. I sort of adopted it, and it's been working really well. This is one of the two decks that I'm going to be featuring here. This one works really well. Now, when you look at it, there's no buildings, there's only one spell, and you'd think that this would not work. Strangely enough, however, it does. So let's go see some examples. And here we go against Nils from the clan Deutsch Ritter. That sounds pretty imposing, doesn't it? Anytime you have a German name like that, it sort of puts the fear into you, doesn't it? Maybe it's because of Morton. Maybe it's because of the history of Germany. You never know what to expect. But it looks like he's running a fairly similar deck. Only he's got Inferno Dragon and Hunter, but he's got the Witch and he's got the Mega Knight. And like in most events, it seems like everybody's using the Firecracker. What is it about the Firecracker? It's such a broken, unpredictable, OP kind of card. Now the Barbarian evolution is not, it's not an evolution that I ever really thought much of. But for some reason, it works in this deck. None of the things in this deck would be something that I would normally put together. See, in my first match playing this, I was originally running a fast cycle Mega Knight kind of deck. You know, with evolved skeletons, evolved ice spirit, a bunch of low-cost evolved cards. And I thought it was pretty good. I won a couple matches. I thought, hey, this is rocking. And then along came a guy using the deck I'm currently using in this video, and he just ran all over me. I thought, what is going on here? I gotta adopt this deck. Yeah, the Evolved Witch is still very overpowered. And the Battle Ram is just such a pain in the butt. So I just sort of let him take the tower. I had some hopes there at the last second that I'd do a little counter push in this lane. But he has to respond to that so I can stick my Battle Ram in on the other side. And it looks like he's got the same idea with the Evolved Battle Ram, only he's using the Wall Breakers too. And those things are annoying. And it's looking fairly grim for me right here. Until the old Evolved Knight comes in and puts in some good work. Okay, so this guy's using the Goblin Curse, which I thought was pretty interesting. And seeing as how he probably sees a lot of people using Witch, probably a pretty smart decision, using the Goblin Curse. Unfortunately, the Goblin Curse spawns goblins. And goblins, they just don't do that well. They're kind of squishy. He's also an original thinker with his Electro Wizard, or Electro Dragon. Electro Wizard. As you can tell, I'm an expert commentator. So I stick some bats in here to back up the Mega Knight because that's going to cause problems for him. Also because I want to cycle to my evolved bats. So now we're going to have a little Evolved Witch on Evolved Witch action. And I put the Knight in there behind to distract. Turns out to be a pretty good move. Firecracker's back is turning. She's distracted by that one skeleton. I sneak my battle ram in on the other side there, which is pretty good. Get a little damage there. I heard this YouTuber, he's fairly new to the scene, but I like him. His name's Charlie. And he likes to call the Firecracker the camera girl, which I thought was pretty hilarious. It looks sort of like she's walking around holding a camera. So he's going to stick his evolved bats on my knight, my evolved knight. And here I am just leaking elixir. So I'm kind of biding my time to bring down my evolved Mega Knight on his evolved witch. Distract the Electro Dragon, let the Firecracker do her business. And at this point, I'm just sort of like, I'm not gonna bother defending those goblin barrels. I'm working at getting his towers down. Sometimes you don't defend. You know, sometimes it's better to go on the offense. Now, the second deck that I used is one that I came up with on my own. Nobody beat me with this deck. I just thought, seeing all these evolved witches and all these other things, I'd go back to my bread and butter, which always involves a defensive tower and at least 2 spells. And so I decided to go with this deck. Chose the evolved goblin barrel as my win condition, and figured I'd go with this one. Much cheaper. I really like playing faster cycle decks like this anyway. It gives you more chances to outplay the opponent. So let's see how this one works. Now, I have to say, this deck is a lot more fun to play than the last one. And it's not just because I came up with it on my own. It's because the last one had a much higher elixir cost. And while it's very effective, I'm just not as comfortable playing it. You can see my opponent here has the Cannoneer for his Princess Towers. And the Cannoneer, while very good against tanky units, is just a little bit vulnerable when it comes to bait, like the Goblin Barrel. I guess he had that snowball intended for my bats, but the rage already killed my bats. I remember back in the day when I used to play, back in the day, the rage spell didn't do any damage. It just pepped up your units. It didn't actually kill skeletons and squishy units, but things have changed. I guess while I was gone, they reworked it. Yes, and now here comes the bane of the evolved witch, and that's the evolved lumberjack. Not the lumberjack, the executioner. What am I saying? And here we go with our evolved barrels. Pretty good damage. We're gonna do a little freezing and then trot out our evolved Valkyrie. Now that evolved Valkyrie, she's pretty punk rock, isn't she? She's got that mohawk. She looks like she just stepped out of a Mad Max movie. I really like her. This guy had the same idea. He's gonna run with that evolved executioner. Oh boy, here's the evolved hunter. This guy's an issue, isn't he? Throws that net on things. It's a pretty OP evolved card, I'd say. As you can see, the evolved Tesla is in this deck. And I gotta tell you, that evolved Tesla is pretty awesome. I really like it. And I'll choose this as the last match to feature with this deck because I thought it was pretty entertaining how he likes to use the Goblin Giant and P.E.K.K.A. A very toxic combination I think is pretty popular these days. Although for the life of me I can't figure out why. Now the Goblin Giant and Sparky, I can see that. But the Goblin Giant and the P.E.K.K.A.? What is the point? But evidently some people really like it. Oh boy, P.E.K.K.A. at the bridge. This is a sign of the truly skilled player right here. So I'll have to go ahead and sacrifice my my Goblin Barrel there. That's okay. I guess they think that they can just catch you sort of off guard by putting a P.E.K.K.A. at the bridge like that. But the P.E.K.K.A. to be effective really needs more support. Like if you would put, say, a Firecracker behind or a Wizard or something, some kind of ranged card. But he doesn't even have Zap and the proper spells to really support the P.E.K.K.A. And even the Evolved Goblin Giant is pretty easy to defend. You got decent building. And of course, the Dart Goblin, who's the MVP. He places his Ice Golem down just a little bit too far away so the tower can't get at my Dart Goblin. And once again, his almighty push has been foiled. Perfectly timed and predictive snowball there. I had no idea he was going to put his Skarmy there, but I thought just in case. Now I want to try to draw him way over to this side. I want to get that Firecracker kind of out of the way there. We don't need that Firecracker messing with things, so I figured this is a pretty good defense. I think at this point, I think this guy's pretty much given up. He's realized that he's not breaking through. And there's a certain satisfaction in making them quit. And they got barely any tower damage on me. And notice how this fellow is from a clan called the Skill Gang. How ironic. Anyway, that's the Clash Royale video for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it, find it helpful, maybe use the decks. And this is Crunchy Frog signing out.